Welcome to the first layer of your delicious cake, a place to get paid. I dare say it's the most important one. This is where we're converting the value that you bring into revenue. You may be in a corporate role where the primary value you're going to see from building your digital thumbprint is going to come through the salary increases that you get from your employment. That's okay, but it doesn't mean that it is the only revenue generation that can be connected to your leadership development. I want you to consider, are there opportunities for you to do external consulting or coaching work separate from your primary role on your own time? Because using your talent in that way is a viable way to generate additional streams of income. Another path to consider, regardless of what you want to use the revenue for, I do think it's important to connect some revenue generation mechanism to building this digital ecosystem over time. We started there because depending on which pathway you choose, the second layer is going to differ based on what you decide. At its most fundamental level, I want you to think about it in two components. On one side is we need a digital ecosystem to accept payments. And so that's what we're referring to when we say payment processor. On the other side of that equation, we're saying that needs to arrive into a business account, usually a business checking account. You can make a decision on where you want to carry that relationship. They don't necessarily have to be one and the same. If you're building a digital ecosystem that is going to have digital products or retail distribution, you're going to release some merch. Merch is hot. I fully support it. Depending on the elements you decide to bake into how you are going to build this digital thumbprint, my recommendation for which processor may vary. And so I want to share this information with you, but encourage you to do some due diligence, look up the different platforms that exist and make an informed decision on what works for you. So just as a general rule of thumb, this is not designed to be an all-inclusive list. Stripe is my favorite payment processor. I consider it my general go-to because it covers the vast majority of use cases. If you're a consultant, it will work for you. If you are selling digital products like ebooks, even a 3-pack set of coaching sessions, the Stripe payment processing options will work for you. You can create a product under your Stripe account. It'll create a SKU. It will generate a unique link, and you can send people to that link to purchase whatever that product or productized service is. Once your customer completes payment, they're going to get an invoice, and that transaction is going to go through a very robust validation and fraud mitigation process before arriving in your bank account, whatever business bank account relationship you have set up. I like Stripe because the infrastructure is very secure, very well tested, and available across the vast majority of global markets. There are a few exceptions here and there. If you are interested in alternative forms of currency, and this is especially important when you're dealing with it outside of the US market. We live in the US and we're very accustomed to swiping credit cards without a blink of an eye. But there are many countries across the world that don't yet have the same financial infrastructure as the United States or the European Union nations. And so for those countries, cryptocurrency is actually more accessible to those economies. So if you are looking to have a global footprint and you want to do business in countries that don't have the mature financial infrastructures in place, Stripe is a very well integrated partner. You're going to find that they have native integrations with many of the large CRM platforms, as well as a host of other SaaS platforms that you may want to take advantage of in building your digital ecosystem. Now, they're not the only game in town. For example, Square is another perfectly viable option. I personally tend to think of Square more for businesses that have a retail presence, have a brick and mortar of some sort, or have to go mobile. Maybe you do a lot of displays, trunk shows, things of that nature. Now, I would submit that Stripe offers a lot of those same features. However, from my research, I do believe that Square does some things a little differently around retail inventory management. And so if that sounds like you, it's definitely an option worthy of consideration. So finally, when you're thinking about the ways that you get paid, think about how building this digital ecosystem is going to have a relationship to growing your primary source of income. There are many other options available in the digital space for taking payments. I could go through so many more. If we ever meet, depending on what you tell me, I may challenge you to consider other options. The most important thing is to consider who you are, the places and spaces in which you are going to ask people to provide a payment to you, and the security measures that need to be in place for documentation on your side, but also on your client side. So if you are looking to do B2B transactions, this one is very important for you. Anytime you're looking to do enterprise engagements, you want to have an additional layer of consideration around fee structure, very important, fraud and security measures, and then overall peace of mind. How seamless is your payment processor going to be in plugging into the other systems required to operate your business? You may not have everything figured out on how you're going to design your digital ecosystem. That's okay. But we do want to give some careful consideration to the big rocks. I always recommend reaching out to a set of professionals to help you work through these things. This particular layer, you're going to want to have advisors that guide you through things like determining your business entity and structure. Depending on the state that you live in, there could be multiple pathways available to you, and it's worth exploring the implications of all of those before moving forward with filing. It's really important to meet with those advisors and have an understanding of how you're going to set up your business entity, and make sure that when you set up your payment processor and business account, there's complete alignment with those things. These are the most important elements I want to share with you as you start the journey on setting up your payment processing systems. I really hope this information was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop me a note, get on my calendar. Let's talk about what you're thinking, and if there are resources that I can share that can help you move in the right direction. I want to be a resource for you finding your best path forward. All right, let's get into the next layer.